It is really hard to describe exactly how the training will go from a proposal, but let me just give it a try. And here it goes, period. First of all, I try to know the participants and the nature that they possess, along with the various problems that they are facing, period. And then from there, I customize my content to suit their nature and the problems that they are currently facing, period. Then I ask many questions that will help me probe further into what is the real problem, because many cases are like people talk about a problem, but actually the real problem is something else. And then in order to solve the problem that they actually came up with, we need to solve the problems that they were not aware of. And they might even disagree at the beginning, but eventually they will agree that this was the root cause of the problem, period. And in order to solve that problem, knowledge is required, because ignorance cannot help solve the problem, period. This is where the various topics that have been listed below come in, period. Then, based on my thousands of books read and experience in hundreds of organizations and thousands of, or even 10 thousands of professionals, I will give you a near solution, if not the perfect solution, period. And this will go on in a style like you can say push and pull between the participant and the trainer until the final product or knowledge is attained, period. So in my methodology, there is no fixed ready-made answer, because it's not even possible given the rapid changing environment. And even if we do not consider the modern fast technological advance age that we are in, no two people share the same circumstances ever, period. So the outcome that you can expect from my training, like the tens of thousands of people who have attended my training, is that you'll be highly satisfied, and you will walk out with the solution to your problems, not just because I solved it for you, but because you, in unison with the trainer, concocted and developed, or should I say, discovered a solution, the knowledge, and acquired the skills required to particularly solve that problem, period. And many times the training is not problem based, and it is possibility based, which will help you also discover new types of knowledge, again in the process of a creative push and pull between the trainer and the participants, full stop. The outcome is eventually a very pleasant and enjoyable one, filled with excitement and lots of knowledge that to be gained, laughter, and a sense of enlightenment all throughout, as well as a sense of being freed from the clutches of ignorance that people live in. So, in summary, The participants will not be bored and will walk out with the knowledge, the skills, the attitudes, the behaviors, the concepts, whatever is needed to solve the problem that they are facing and to take up the challenges, the possibilities that is waiting for them. Now, let me give you a small briefing about each of the topics that I am proposing to talk about, period. Please be mindful that during the actual session, it will be quite different because, as I told you, my style of training is very fluid and adaptable, and no two courses are ever the same for me because no two groups of people are ever the same. In terms of leadership, I'll be discussing the great leadership model that I wrote about in my book, and I will be asking you questions about what leadership or the lack of leadership means in your current business situation. And therefrom, I would apply a model of mine in your particular context. I will not elaborate further on this point because it will be pointless since I do not know you and I do not know your problems and I do not know the challenges you are facing in terms of leadership. So it will be very hard pressed for anyone to claim that they can know your problem. Even though I have worked for so long in the travel and tourism industry, it's never the same. Each and every year it changes and it's different for different companies, different departments, different levels. And if you are really interested in the model that I'm talking about, you can get a free copy of my book. In terms of process and people management of skills aspect of leadership, it's very vast, and in the travel industry there are lots of processes and it requires a lot of system thinking, which I will be teaching here, to design the processes through various diagrams and testing the processes. The next challenge is to make the people a priority at the same time making process a priority, period. They are two very different and opposite forces, period. However, they must be reconciled and made to work in alignment in order to make an organization successful, and that will be the main theme of this session. Again, based on the situations that the participants are facing. Now, time management is a very vague and all-encompassing topic. So I really need to know what type of challenges is causing problems that the participants are calling actually time management, because in fact most of the time time management problems are not actually time management problems, but they are communication, leadership, and team building problems, and even in most cases they are process problems that need to be solved in a very different way than time management, period. However, there could be some really pure time management um, problems owed to the lack of knowledge in this particular domain, which I'll be providing, like the 2x2 time matrix, and many of you very effective tools in this session of effective communication and team motivation. I will be again discussing the various tools that are available for teamwork, and helping the participants assess and measure their team members, not just in terms of performance, but personality, character, and future possibilities that they offer. We can refer to this particular topic as operational management also, and this will involve a lot of systems thinking that we discussed earlier, and we'll be adding more performance indicators in this course period, because you cannot improve anything unless you can measure it, and that will be the main objective of this session, to find out how to measure various tasks and processes to make the operation smooth, and to increase its effectiveness and efficiency. In the context of the travel industry, negotiation has a totally different meaning, because the risks are so high when the actual problem comes, like there might be very poor service at the other end of the world where we send the passengers, and the holidaymakers can be facing accidents on their trips, which can put the travel agent in a very, very difficult negotiation position, period. We'll have to learn not only negotiation skills, but many aspects of the law that protects the travel agent in such circumstances, and also the relationship between the law and the police force. But not to be entering in this negotiation situation through thorough knowledge of the visa processes, and having backup plans would be a better idea, period. But worst comes, negotiation skills, like getting as much information and not providing too much information, and ultimately seeking a win-win situation through various strategies, will be covered here. For this session, we'll be starting with some tough decisions that the team is facing, and I'll be using the most effective business decision-making tool that I use, which is the PROACT model, meaning first identify the problem, then identify the objectives, next find the alternatives, the consequences, and make the trade-off. For strategic thinking, the best way is to start with some current visions that the participants have, and make possible scenarios and develop the various possible strategies for them. That is based on what people in other sectors and countries and times have used, period. And then we use those strategies in our context, period. The model I'll be using is one of co-opetition, whereby we identify the various players and find out what value can be added, which rules needs to be followed, and what tactics to be used, and what are the scopes of each of the strategies, period. This can be summarized in the acronym POTS. There is so much distrust when it comes to the relationship between the customer and the service provider, especially in the travel industry. And that is why people are seeking branded organizations, because that's the only way that they can trust fully. It is very important in this way to understand how the customers think, feel, react to various prompts, and not just rely on the old understanding that if you have a very posh, nice office, people will trust you, period. That's not enough. And we'll discover the various processes, the various ideas that will help us build the trust in the customers for us by understanding their psychology. I saved this topic for the last because it's one that we think that ambitious people do not need, period. They think that their fire will last them for a lifetime, and unfortunately that's not how it works, period. They will get burned, they will burn out, they will fail, and they will lose what they hold in the highest value, period. That's the process and cycle of success, period. However, we can make this cycle and process smoother and with less hiccups, with less stress. And that's what this session is all